Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, we're diving straight in today because we are unpacking a case that has literally shaken the entire nation. We're looking at the deeply unsettling death of 25-year-old Pune realtor Ketan Agarwal. What initially looked like this heartbreaking accident during a weekend trek, well, it's unraveled into a wildly complex web of alleged deceit, hidden digital breadcrumbs, and a shocking double life.
So as we go through the facts today, I really want you to keep this one central question in the back of your mind. Was a deadly 400-foot fall just a tragic accident, or was it a meticulously planned betrayal? I mean, on the surface, this was supposed to be a joyous occasion, right? A young, engaged couple taking a trip to the historic Lohagad Fort to celebrate a birthday. But that joyous trip ended in a horrific plunge into a gorge. Let's look at what investigators have actually pieced together.
First up, let's establish who's actually at the center of this tragedy. Ketan Agarwal was only 25 years old. He was ambitious, deeply involved in expanding his family's business, and served as a director at Success Group, which is a really prominent real estate firm focused on warehousing and logistics. Basically, he was a young guy with his whole life and a massive planned November wedding ahead of him. Section 1. A tragic fall or murder? Now, you might be wondering, how exactly does an accidental death report snowball into a full-blown murder investigation? Well, look at this timeline. Back in early June, a group trip to Bali gets abruptly canceled. Why? Because Ketan's passport mysteriously vanished on the way to the airport, a passport his fiancée, Siya Goyal, had allegedly been handling just before it disappeared. Then, according to police, on June 14th, there was an initial, failed attempt on Ketan's life at this very same fort. He survived by grabbing a bush, and Siya allegedly told him, get this, she pushed him because she was startled by a snake. But then, just 4 days later, on June 18th, Ketan suffers the fatal fall. And by late June, Siya and her alleged lover, Chetan Chaudhary, are both under arrest. Section 2. Uncovering a double life. So what made the police completely flip their perspective? It was the stark contrast between public persona and private reality. And honestly, this really highlights the terrifying reality of modern relationships, just how easy it is to curate a complete illusion. Publicly, Siya appeared to be this enthusiastic bride-to-be, super involved in planning a massive November wedding in Rajasthan. After Ketan's death, she's even posting these heartbreaking Instagram tributes. But privately, investigators allege she was secretly telling close friends the wedding wasn't happening at all. And even more shockingly, she was already secretly married to Chetan Chaudhary. Yeah, you heard that right. Police sources claim they found evidence that Siya and Chetan secretly tied the knot 4 months prior to the incident. They allege 2 college friends even signed as witnesses to this hidden marriage. Right now, cyber experts are frantically trying to recover deleted photos from a private Instagram account that reportedly showed Siya and Chetan wearing wedding garlands. Meanwhile, physical police teams are actively hunting for the actual marriage certificate. This whole alleged double life is further highlighted by a seriously chilling digital footprint. According to the police, Siya sent a Snapchat message to a friend saying, send your Aadhaar card front and back side photo for tickets for the wedding, which is anyway not going to take place, but still do send it. So the crucial takeaway here is that investigators believe she absolutely knew the November wedding would never happen, even while keeping up all these elaborate public appearances. But why go to such extreme lengths, right? The police theory suggests Siya desperately wanted out of the marriage, but she feared the social blowback and embarrassment of calling off a high-profile engagement. Allegedly, she was unhappy with Ketan's appearance, specifically pointing to his baldness, his use of a wig, and a stammer. However, as Ketan's grieving father quite logically points out, if the marriage was unwanted, why wasn't a simple no enough? Why resort to murder?
Section 3. Anatomy of an alleged plot.
The police are convinced June 18th was definitely not some impromptu weekend hike. They think it was a highly specific, premeditated execution. 90. That's the number of kilometers Chetan Chaudhary allegedly rode on a scooter from Pune all the way to Lohagad Fort. Why a scooter? Well, investigators claim he purposely avoided taking a car because cars leave digital trails at toll booths. I mean, that just shows the staggering level of alleged planning we're talking about here. Let's break down this alleged ghost strategy step by step. First, Chetan takes the scooter to completely dodge the tolls. Second, he throws on a hoodie to hide his face from the few CCTV cameras scattered around the base of the fort. Third, he climbs the grueling 400 steps to the top, totally separate from Siya and Ketan. And fourth, he waits in the shadows at a specific viewpoint, completely out of sight, just waiting for a signal. And this next detail is just
terrifyingly calculated. The police claim Samaya used a prearranged signal to let Chetan know the coast was clear of any other tourists. She sat down near the edge of the cliff, supposedly pretending to tie her shoelaces or grab a drink of water. Investigators say this was a deliberate, tactical move to signal Chetan while also ensuring she was seated and safely out of Ketan's reach. The idea being it prevented him from instinctively grabbing onto her as he was allegedly pushed down that 400-foot drop.
Section 4. Tracing the digital breadcrumbs.
In today's world, you know as well as I do, you can never truly be a ghost. Technology always leaves a trace, no matter how hard you try to hide it. The absolute most damning piece of digital evidence, according to police, is the call detail record. They uncovered a secret 34-minute phone call between Siya and Chetan that happened just before the fatal fall. Police believe this was the final go-ahead, where Siya confirmed her exact location and verified that they were alone. On top of that, cyber experts are working around the clock to retrieve deleted WhatsApp chats, and they're cross-referencing IP logs to lock down the exact locations of the suspects during that final call. And then there's the digital camouflage. The day after the murder, which happened to be her own birthday, Sima posted an incredibly emotional Instagram tribute. It read, "You left me on my birthday. You left when we were so close to getting married. Mere dil ko pata hai ki tu yahi hai. Wapas aaja." Which translates to, "My heart knows you are right here. Come back." Police view this as a chilling, highly calculated move to generate public sympathy and firmly cement the narrative that this was just a tragic trekking mishap.
Section 5. The Looming Legal Battle. Which brings us right to the present day. The investigation is wrapping up, and the stage is set for a massive, incredibly high-stakes legal battle. The Maharashtra government is treating this with the utmost seriousness. They've actually appointed a special public prosecutor. Now, if you aren't familiar, an SPP is a lawyer specifically brought in by the state to handle highly sensitive cases, ensuring a rigorous, fast-tracked trial. And they haven't appointed just anyone. They brought in Ujjwal Nikam, the legendary lawyer who famously secured the conviction in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. This aggressive legal push comes on the heels of an incredibly emotional plea. Ketan's mother, Ketan Agarwal, wrote directly to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, begging for a speedy trial. Her words were heartbreaking. She wrote, "Please do not let Ketan become just another case file. To me, wo meri puri duniya tha. He was my entire world." It's just this stark, sobering reminder that behind all the digital forensics and the crazy police timelines, there is a grieving family that has lost a beloved son. Meanwhile, over on the defense camp, things are reportedly descending into absolute chaos. According to reports, Siya and Chetan are now turning on each other in police custody, each trying to shift the blame to the other. Furthermore, there's this bizarre dispute happening over Siya's legal representation. It's actually escalated to the point where defense advocate Ashutosh Srivastava has slapped Siya's own brother with a massive 10 crore rupee defamation notice, all over allegations questioning his authority to represent her. But the defense team fiercely maintains that everything we've discussed so far consists purely of allegations. Advocate Srivastava reminds us of the core principle of the judicial system. He states, the prosecution has to prove the guilt. Possibility could be anything, right? And that is why the investigation is happening. He points out that Siya is fully cooperating and stresses that the trial court cannot rule on probabilities alone. They need concrete, proven facts. So, this is exactly where we stand today. The suspects remain in custody. The state has brought out the big guns with a top-tier prosecutor. The entire case right now basically hinges on the cyber forensics team working behind the scenes. Recovering those deleted Instagram posts, WhatsApp chats, and location data is absolutely critical for the prosecution if they're going to build an irrefutable case of premeditated murder. Which leaves us with this final, profound thought to close out our explainer today. In our modern society, if a marriage is truly unwanted, why is a simple refusal not enough? And as we watch this high-profile trial unfold over the coming months, the biggest question remains, can digital footprints actually uncover the ultimate truth before the gavel falls? Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this complex and tragic case.